For the last 5 years, I have been using a Windows computer as my main computer. It's edited every single video you've ever seen on this channel, on my other channel, on my wedding videography business. It's the most important piece of technology that I own. Everything I've ever accomplished with film, I owe to basically 3 or 4 companies. The first one's AMD for the Ryzen processor. The second one is NVIDIA for their GPUs. And the third one is going to be Microsoft and Adobe, allowing me to use software that allows me to make videos. And maybe I could give Canon and Panasonic some credit too for the cameras. So this happened a few months ago, and this is something that does happen on Windows computers a lot more. You're gonna have a lot more bugs, you're gonna have a lot more crashes. I think the reason is because the different options of hardware are so vast, whereas on a Mac computer, the lineup now especially, but even in times past, the different configurations, it just there wasn't so many options. I mean, not only can you choose between AMD and Intel for the CPUs, but you can also choose between Intel, AMD, and NVIDIA for the graphics cards. And then the RAM is made by different companies. The motherboards, there's 10 different motherboard manufacturers, the power supplies, all this stuff, the storage. There are so many different hands in the pot when it comes to a Windows computer. I think that's why the stability issues happen. With a Mac computer, they are all basically the same, especially they're using the same architecture now. I think the stability is a lot easier for companies like Adobe to make programs for because they only have to basically make it for a handful of computers as opposed to optimizing it for every single different type of option that could be ever offered on a Windows computer. What happened was I have a wedding videography business. I spend a lot of time on that. It's very important to me, and I make a lot of money from it. It's not my main job, but it's something I do on the side. And I turn my wedding videos around in 48 hours. It's pretty tough. It's pretty grueling, but it can be done. But it can only be done if you have a reliable computer. And what was happening on my Windows computer was in the middle of my edits, I would edit for like an hour, then it would crash. Edit for another hour, crash. Edit for another hour, crash. And those crashes add about 10 minutes because you have to shut down the whole computer, restart everything, pick up where you left off. You get sucked out of the creative mindset, go back into the creative mindset. For me, it was basically 15 minutes. So every hour I edit, I really am editing for an hour and 15 minutes because 15 minutes I just lose. And what was happening is these videos started to get longer and longer to edit. So one day, a 7-minute wedding video would take me 7 hours to edit. And then the next day, it was 7:15, 7:30, 7:45. And then these edits that used to take 6-7 hours were taking 9-10 hours because of the amount of crashes that were happening. And then finally, and I was able to look past that because I loved Windows. I've been using it since full-time 2020. I bought a Windows computer, Ryzen 7 3700X with an RX 5700X, and I loved that computer. I edited my first documentary on that computer. I edited every single video that I've ever made on this channel since 2020 on that computer, my other channel as well. I have literally gained millions of views because of that computer alone. However, that computer started to not work for me, and I am techie and I can solve a lot of different problems, but when it comes to work and when it comes to my job and stuff where I'm making money, I don't care. I don't care what computer I use. I don't want to waste time troubleshooting this and troubleshooting that. Let me check the drivers here, check the drivers there. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just want to make sure that the work is getting done that needs to get done, that I'm getting paid a lot of money to do. I need to make sure that all that stuff is getting done. And when the computer kept crashing as much as it was time to make a change. So it got to a point basically where one night I was editing a video for this channel actually, and it crashed on me like 7 times within 20 minutes. And I said, okay, I'm done. I'm going to go buy a MacBook Pro tonight. And I found one and I bought one the next day. It was this one right here, a 2021 M1 Pro MacBook Pro. I was able to pick this up for $1,300, I believe. A lot of money, but whatever. I mean, I charge way more than that for a wedding video, so I didn't really care too much about it. And I have edited 45 videos on this laptop, and I have had a total of not 1, not 2, but 3 crashes over 45 plus videos. It could be more. I know it's at least 45 videos. And considering the fact that I've made $10,000 plus on all those videos, it's more than paid for itself 10 times over, I would say. And just my hair, it actually started to grow back because I was so stressed out about it crashing the Windows computer. I'm just joking, but it really has been quite remarkable. And there are a lot of positives with having this computer. This isn't a review of this computer, but there are a lot of positives with having it. The first one is it's portable, it's reliable, it always turns on, it always works. There's no I've never had a problem with it. If I did have to have a problem with it, I could go to an Apple store and they could fix it for me. Next is I'm a video editor through and through. Apple is marketed towards creatives, photographers, videographers, those types of people. So the products and the software on this computer are designed and optimized for those people. There are video encoders on the chip that Apple put inside of here just for video editors like me. And it's really remarkable because I'll edit a video and I'll export it, and the export time is it's like 40 to 60% of the length of the video. So if the video is 10 minutes long, it takes 4 to 6 minutes to actually export, sometimes even faster. And the CPU and GPU never even hit like 15%. It's really a remarkable computer. The power delivery of the MacBook Pro while it's on battery is really good. Something that Windows laptops have never really been able to do, which is why I didn't get a Windows laptop. I got a MacBook Pro instead. And the battery life is just insane. I mean, this thing is like 10 hours. It's ridiculous. It's the most. I've never even worried about battery the whole time I've ever had this computer because it's just nuts how good it is. So that's why I stopped using Windows. It's actually pretty hard for me to talk about that because Windows is so great and offers so many advantages, especially the upgradability of my computer. I upgraded it several times over, going from a 5700X to a 2070 Super to a 3070, going from 8 gigabytes of RAM all the way up to 32 gigabytes of RAM, going from a 500 gigabyte SSD all the way up to 2.5 terabytes of SSD storage. The thing was amazing. I loved it. I loved that computer, and I still do. It holds a place in my heart, but it left me heartbroken because it didn't work, and I need the computer to work. And I think this is a problem that more people have dealt with. I believe a big video editing studio, I don't know who it was. I want to say it's either I think it was like Linus Tech Tips, where he said that a lot of his staff have switched over to Macs just because of the stability, and that's exactly why I did. The stability. That's it. Isn't that insane? I just need the computer to work. I want it to work with the most powerful stuff I possibly can imagine, and with a Windows computer, because you can get you can get a way more powerful computer that's better at video editing than this computer is. But if the program and software crashes every hour or every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes, or multiple times a project, it's not a good computer. You need it. You can't afford to have that happen. When you're doing something professionally the way I do, you can't afford to have the computer not be there for you, not work. That'd be like if a camera every hour or so for 15 minutes, it just stopped filming. Like you couldn't do that. You couldn't afford to have that happen because then you would miss 15 minutes of stuff. And in my business, when you're shooting a wedding video, that 15 minutes is going to be when they're kissing at the altar. It always is. So that's why I switched over. I'm curious to see if you've had similar reasons, similar problems to me. I would love to try it again, maybe one day when I can afford to have the time to take some time to reinstall Windows and move all my files over and do all that stuff. But when you're in a business like mine where it's go, 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 you have a new wedding video, basically it seems like every single week that needs to be completed. You don't have time to mess around and try this and try that and do that and do this. You just want to sit down, edit the video, and move on to the next one. The Windows computer doesn't allow me to do that. The Mac computer does. If the Mac computer ever stopped allowing me to do that, I would definitely try to go back to Windows. I don't foresee that happening anytime soon because of how closely Adobe and Apple work together. Adobe's featured in Apple's keynotes sometimes, so you know that they're very close with each other. So thank you for watching the video. This has been Scott with Techno Eclipse. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.